You are now tuning in to Kickspot with Jinu Park and Migs.
And we are back.
We're live again. Thank you.
What's Gucci?
For people that are actually listening to us.
There's a lot of people listening, you know.
For now.
Yeah.
We're building it every week.
We see you.
But we have a special guest today, Franco Olmedo. You know,
Thank you.
one of the brodies here. Obviously, you know, we have you here for a reason, as much as we don't like it.
Hater.
Yeah, I'm not looking at that shit.
Look at me when you talk to me.
Obviously, you're a Lakers fan.
Yeah.
Obviously, Lakers fan. You know, Migs is a Clippers fan wearing a Detroit
A what fan?
shirt. So,
It's a bad
you
boys,
know.
dude. You got to celebrate history.
yeah.
Sell out.
So Franco, if you could, for the listeners, give us a little background on yourself.
Of course. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. Let's see. One of Migs' best friends. Met each other. We actually went to high school together, but we didn't hang out. We've been on the same basketball team for 5 years now. And let's see. Yeah, I'm from Argentina. Been in the States for 22 years. Lived in Argentina for 10 years. And yeah, what else do you guys want to know?
Well, that's great.
You were born in Argentina,
Yes, sir.
and then you lived there for 10 years.
Yes.
How did you come here?
My dad's a software developer, and he actually got a job offer as a joke. He came here for a presentation, and he was like, "Oh, if you guys ever have a job opening, hit me up." And literally, like 6 months later, they call him, and they brought the whole family here, sponsored the whole citizenship thing. We actually became citizens, the whole family, last year. So
Wow.
6 of us, and yeah, really happy. America.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously in America, if you have a valuable asset and you can contribute to America, that's one way to get a citizenship. The other way is to win the lottery.
That's true. Yeah,
Yep.
we went the first way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So very lucky.
Or Migs came on a boat in a crate. Born in the Philippines.
No comment. I don't know how that goes.
Philippine Airlines.
He got really quiet. He got really quiet. Oh yeah, I remember when the crate opened.
Philippine Airlines. Thank you very much. Economy class.
Okay,
All right.
Economy. Wow.
Okay.
I see you.
Okay.
All right.
Obviously, Franco, we really appreciate you coming on the show here.
Thank you guys.
But we do want to test you
Mm.
on a little bit about Argentina. Let's see if
Yeah.
you're truly Argentinian.
Sure.
So Migs has prepared a few questions for you.
Hit me.
Okay. So, first off,
Mm-hmm.
what is the average Argentinian population from 2018?
The average Argentinian population. Can you guess 40 million?
Close. It was 44.6 million
Okay.
2 years ago.
Come
Okay.
on, bro.
It's because he hears it whenever the World Cup plays.
Yeah.
They say it.
Yeah.
You know?
They say it. 40 million behind Messi. That's what
See?
they say.
That's just a random fact, though. That's such a random fact.
Yeah, I mean, it's because they obviously average it down, but at the same time, it's like the whole country stopped to see what's going on. It's a literal, saying, it has literal meaning behind it.
It's crazy.
So,
Okay, question number 2,
Mhm.
Mr. Argentinian.
yeah.
What type of government does Argentina run on?
Democratic government.
Okay. Maybe
There's
not.
elections.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what
We just had one.
What kind is that?
What kind of election?
No, what kind of government is that, I guess?
Democratic government.
Okay, all right. Okay.
So like the political party?
Okay.
There's a couple political parties, yeah.
Is it the same as here?
Kind
Kind
of.
of.
Yeah, you have a liberal
Yeah.
with progressive issues, and then you have a conservative side, but it's a little more complex. than
Okay,
here.
okay.
Equal amount of corruption though.
All right.
As America,
Avi.
so, yeah.
Avi.
I thought it was more.
More? Oh yeah. No, it obviously it's said in jest, but yeah, for sure, there's a lot more, a lot more corruption than there. Yeah.
Obviously, from you having no hair, we all know that. So, yeah. So, next question.
Yeah.
Name the individual, the Spanish explorer, that first set foot in Argentina
Oof.
and claimed it for the Spanish crown?
I'm
Oh,
gonna
dude,
go
it's like your
with.
uncle's name, bro.
Oh man, Rodriguez. I don't know, man.
Dude, I'm like stumped right here. I'm like,
His name is Juan Diaz.
Oh, okay.
Come on, bro. All right, I got two more.
All right.
Are we good for two more?
Yeah,
questions?
yeah. Come on.
so
This
far
is- this is
you're
fun.
you have 2 wins,
is
1
fun.
loss right now.
Why? Who would have known that?
You should have. You know, if you were listening to history class, you would have known that. All right.
American history. I live here now.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I'm just saying.
2 wins, 1 loss.
Go.
All right. What is the falls? Okay, a body of water. What is the falls that borders between Argentina and Brazil? What is that falls called?
Iguazu.
Okay.
Oh wow.
I've been there.
That was a fast.
Put the clap
response.
thing on that one.
That
That
was
was,
a
that, was,
fat-
that was a good one.
That was a fast response.
I've been there.
It looks beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah,
it
I was
looks
stuck
beautiful.
I had to sleep at the airport there when I went to the World Cup. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And let me see here. I'm trying to find like an animal question.
Argentine animal?
Yeah.
Do you know the national animal?
Oh, I don't. Hit me with whatever you want.
Okay. Besides Spanish, and I know you're fluent, and you know fluent, but it's like a different part of Spanish, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Castellano. we call it.
Castellano. Yeah. So give me. I guess there's a few more like languages that are being spoken in Argentina. Give me like 2 more languages or like indigenous languages that you know that are spoken by many Argentines.
Can't give you indigenous. I can tell you.
Obviously.
Can't get stump me. I can tell you. You know, in certain parts they speak with a different dialect. Like in Cordoba, for example, I'm from Rosario. In Cordoba, they speak with a different dialect. Even in the capital in Buenos Aires, they speak with a different dialect. As far as other languages, you have, you know, Italian is spoken over there with a mixture of Spanish. You have some German, some French. Yeah.
I'm impressed, dude.
It's really weird. As he was talking, he like started getting an accent.
Yeah, I know.
that was like very intrigued.
It comes out.
It's like partly now in the different dialect. I'm like, what just
Wow.
happened?
No, I'm impressed. I mean that was kind of you could have just guessed any languages and you
Yeah.
probably would have gotten it. But like
Probably.
he gave us
Yeah.
certain regions and what they spoke.
Yeah.
So
You
far-
know what they're talking in the south of Argentina now?
what?
Chinese. There's a Chinese military base.
Oh wow.
Oh,
in
interesting.
the south of
Interesting.
Argentina. Yeah.
Interesting.
A lot of people are very upset about that.
What? Why though?
Because the government probably sold its soul. That's why. So yeah, they do anything for money. So there's a lot of
Well, there was a lot of
rumblings of-
writing.
huh?
There was writing. When was it? Like 5 years ago. And that had a lot to do with quantitative easing, right? Just the government just printing out a bunch of money, and then inflation at an all-time high.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean,
Which
that tells you a lot
printing
about
out money
corruption.
doesn't help stimulate the economy, as you know. So
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of debate.
Yeah.
Economists debate on that
Yeah.
too.
So last question.
hit me.
This is very near and dear in my heart. All right. What type of dance was invented in Argentina?
You know, there's a lot of debate about this, but
Oof, no, there's only one.
tango. The French would say otherwise, but it's ours.
Who cares about what they say?
That's right.
You know?
Yeah.
'Cause you got the question right.
It's crazy. So I'm intrigued. So you both went to school together.
Yeah.
When did you start talking to each other?
Okay, can I say something?
Yeah,
So
go.
it's funny because
wait, why did you get all defensive?
no, I
This is-
wasn't even
he's
defensive.
like,
No.
can I just
Let me just
let me just cut
interject.
you guys-
Let me just clear something now.
before Franco speaks?
I want to put this out there.
Before Franco says some dumb stuff.
Wow. You got a real defensive.
So we were hanging out like at the same like area. Like there's this like
In high
step
school.
in high school.
Yeah.
There's this steps in Missionville High School that we like all the non-popular kids were kicking it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we was part of the non-popular kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we were popular amongst ourselves.
We were popular amongst ourselves. And,
spoken like a true non-popular
yep. and among the Filipino and Argentinian communities.
which is only two.
Only two, yeah.
And like Franco was his person. Like I knew him, right? And he was like a year younger than me. But I knew, but he was always like this dude that was just getting into trouble, making all these ruckus.
Okay.
And I'm like, who's this dude, bruh? It's like the same time I met Jinu.
Oh,
You know?
don't even bring.
Oh.
I'm talking about you two.
I'm just saying, we can bring that up later.
The turntables.
So it was that. So,
Okay.
And then, but I think we started talking like probably. I mean, we would talk here and there just because we were hanging out.
Yeah.
But we weren't really like hanging out like that.
Yeah.
Until like college or when we started really balling together.
Yeah.
You know.
So you guys were in the same league, or like how did you?
Was it Glenn?
No, I think it was Glenn.
Yeah. So Glenn was like, hey, you know, do you need more players? Because me and Glenn been balling since, you know, he started dating my sister.
Shouts out my boy Glenn.
You know, brother-in-law,
Yeah.
Glenn. And then I needed some players. And then I think it was you before Josh, or was it Josh before you?
It was me, Josh before me.
Okay, so so we had Josh, and then we needed more guys, and then I added Cole, and then I added Franco. Oh, because we were already at ASC.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were playing at a different basketball kind of court back in the day. But so we added him, but I remember like him just wilding out one game, and just like I didn't know his temper at that time. I remember one play. Like I just remember him charging at a dude and just like cussing his butt out, you know, because like he got fouled and he didn't like the call.
Dang, Charles Barkley.
Yeah, I mean pretty much. He was like, and he like for a long time was our bruiser, and then until he met Shaza, and then he just became kind of like not the bruiser anymore. Yeah, but he'd still crush some skulls. And I remember one time, like he got hit so hard that he fell, like his head.
I got a scar.
He got a scar in his in his head right there.
And I'm bald because of it too.
Yeah, and
You
like,
lost hair.
I lost hair, dude.
he's gushing blood.
Yeah.
So
Gushing.
So Glenn went to the same school too?
No, Glenn went to Aliso.
Glenn went to Aliso.
Yeah.
So Glenn went to a different school,
I
but
think.
knew Franco, and then you guys connected somehow.
Yeah.
Okay, the pieces don't.
Well, because
really
we worked. Me and Glenn worked together.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Worked at the
same
where-
company.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's where the missing link is.
Wells Fargo. Yeah.
Got it. That's crazy. You guys talked about how you guys were in the unpopular crowd, but also played basketball. It's interesting because basketball now is one of the most popular sports.
Yeah.
And I actually, for me, I played basketball in Guam because it was kind of a loner sport.
Really?
Because you could play basketball by yourself.
Yeah.
Right. So basketball wasn't popular in Guam, and so every time during recess, it would just be me playing basketball all by myself. Everybody else is playing soccer.
I mean, that's still how it is.
Going to the playground and stuff. Yeah. So
Soccer's popular over there?
soccer is popular, like, because it's Guam, so it's like out in Asia. So yeah, I would say soccer is pretty popular. Or kickball, I guess.
Yeah.
It's more popular than basketball. I think it was just me and like two other people that were learning how to play basketball. Not that we're good at all. But we're just learning how to play basketball.
Right.
So it's interesting that you say that you guys were in the unpopular crowd, but then you guys are playing such a popular sport.
Well, I was on the team, and then he wasn't.
Like in high school?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you were in a high school team?
I was on the mission team
So what year?
till junior year.
Junior year.
Yeah, so I was
Well, yeah,
sophomore
'cause-
JV.
After that, they put all the football players.
Right. And then
Mark Sanchez, quarterback for the Jets.
Yeah.
He ended up being on the team senior year. I think
Yeah.
they won the championship, but it was all big 6'5",
Oh, wow.
linebacker or tight end bodies, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
and I was, I mean, I'm fit right now, but I was low. I was little back then.
Yeah.
I
So was I,
little,
120 pounds.
maybe even less.
So
to be
you were
honest.
on the team. You didn't get on the team.
Yeah. I didn't even try out.
Yeah, he
you
didn't
tried
try out.
I didn't pick up basketball
Yeah.
till junior year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, you're pretty good. So how did you get
Practice. This guy inspired me. Kobe.
Okay.
Shout out.
Shout out, rest in peace. But I didn't really pick it up till junior year. I didn't start getting serious with it. And I wanted to, my dream was to play professionally. And I actually went to Argentina to try out.
Really?
Yeah, in
didn't know that.
2006 or 2007. And one of the teams down there, they don't get the stuff that we get here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like shoes are expensive. And the guy's like, yeah, I'll put you on the team, but I need you to bring me like 20 pairs of shoes for my youth program, for my youth team. And I was like, dude, I don't even have a job. How am I
Yeah.
supposed to do that, So it's kind of like a handshake agreement, and it just never happened.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I was actually watching some YouTubers that played overseas, and they were talking about how common it was for you not just to be the player, but you also to be the coach. And then on top of that, to make decisions on recruiting.
Probably.
So you're learning like the whole business aspect
Yeah.
and not just playing the game of basketball.
Right, because over I don't know how it is in Europe, but in South America, especially Argentina, it's like a club team, so it's like a social place to go. So you have kids, you have teenagers and stuff, and that's where they go to hang out, and your family pays a membership,
Yeah.
So that's the player, will probably end up being the coach and everything else, run the club, So it's very common.
Crazy.
Yeah.
We apologize about the noise in the background. We obviously don't have the station during COVID.
That's my dog,
We're
Kaya.
doing a remote
Kaya.
station. So we apologize for the background noise there. But going along with that,
Can I go grab her?
yeah.
Yeah, hold on.
So let's talk about because you obviously love the game of basketball.
Yes.
So you're probably paying attention to the last 5 weeks,
Yep.
and you know exactly what I'm talking
Yes,
about.
absolutely.
The Last Dance,
Yes.
with Michael Jordan. So let me ask you who your favorite basketball player is, like currently and of all time.
Currently, I would have to say LeBron.
Okay.
Even though in the beginning I wasn't a LeBron fan, so I have to admit it. But he's grown on me a lot. Kobe all time.
Kobe all time.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
And I consider, I didn't watch Jordan, so now with this documentary, I get to watch Jordan. I consider Kobe my best ever, just because of what I've seen live. So
I watched basketball during the time when Jordan was playing. Because I grew up in Seattle, and Seattle actually had a team back in the day.
R.I.P.
So,
Sonics.
Yeah, I know. I'm bitter about that.
Yeah.
But Sean Kemp and Gary Payton. Actually, Gary Payton is actually my all-time favorite
Really?
basketball player.
That's
out of
awesome.
all, out of all players, everybody's like, oh,
You
I
rarely
like the
hear
Jordans.
that, yeah.
I like the Kobe's.
But you were there, so
Yeah.
that's who you saw.
Well, I actually try to emulate my game after Gary Payton.
After the club.
And not even just like
That's true though. He does.
just like the way that he plays. He doesn't back down in the post-up game.
Yeah.
He's just he has like these like turns, and his defense is on point.
Yep.
So I would always that's like the visual that I have, but I would always watch Jordan just
Annihilate them.
Destroy.
just tear it up,
Annihilate.
and it was so horrifying.
What a
I
jerk.
hate it. Yeah. So what was your take on Jordan said that he was gonna be hated, or that's what a lot of people thought about would think about him. What was your perspective on The Last Dance and Jordan?
So I got to see a side of him that, number one, I'd never seen because he rarely does interviews. So this was very eye-opening as a fan. The competitiveness, at any point, it reminds me of only one other guy, which is Kobe, which is
No, I think you're
even the meaning, your own teammates at the expense of winning. And if you're not mentally tough enough,
Yeah.
it's kind of eye-opening how mean he is. At the same time, it's admirable that he only has one goal in mind, even with playing cards or whatever competition he's in, which is to win. So it's very eye-opening what a ultimate competitor is like.
I'm wondering if it's like the current generation sees that as like, oh man, that's kind of weird, because like when I grew up, that was the example. So anything that you do, you just do it 100%. You go against people.
Yep.
So like, for example, like when I ran my business in the beginning, I was that guy.
Right.
I would always be the one like competing against everybody else. And it was like, oh, you can't do this. Like, it's that Jordan type of mindset. But then I look at guys like LeBron, which I've always admired LeBron. I like, even from the beginning, I always told everybody that LeBron's going to be one of the best players.
Yeah.
And people would be like, oh, he needs to prove himself. But
Paul Pierce doesn't think so.
but I
One championship.
yeah, but
Stop.
I understand.
Wheelchair.
Yeah, I understand why people would think like that, but the way that he conducts himself as a leader is way different
Right.
than how Jordan or Kobe in that era. And so I'm wondering if people nowadays would ever go back into that type of mindset or that leadership after watching The Last Dance.
I don't think so.
I think for me, I think they're gonna take some of what they saw on The Last Dance, and the fact that everyone has been so cooped up inside that a few NBA guys were like, oh, we're not taking our jobs for granted anymore.
Right.
We're gonna come back harder than ever. I think we're really gonna see a little bit more animosity, which I'm gonna like.
Sure.
Because that's what we've been missing the past like few years,
Yeah.
right? Past 10 years.
Nobody really dislikes each other. in the
Yeah,
league.
like Kobe
In the
was-
summer, they all hang out.
That's why I love Russ.
Right.
That's why I love Russ.
One of the few.
Because
I think he does have that mindset.
Yeah, because Russ doesn't care about, and he had a quote, I saw it on Bleacher Report saying that, I don't care if we were, ex teammates before, don't talk to me during the game.
Yeah, on the court.
On the court,
Yeah.
that mindset, like I really respect. That's why I love Patrick Beverly, because I know Franco doesn't. I even respect Draymond because he's got that old school mentality.
Sure.
And as much as I hate the Warriors, right? But guys like Joel Embiid and Kat fighting, like that was like, oh yes, finally some actual skin in the game.
Right.
So
Punches thrown.
I think what the Last Dance did is it elevated that old school mentality and
Sure.
saying like, because some of those guys and those players didn't really know that history, right? Like, I mean, they're 21, 22, 23-year-old in the league. They know about Michael, but they didn't really see Michael play. They
Right.
saw Kobe play. They saw Vince play, T-Mac play, right? Like they saw those 90s guys, So I think it'll be elevated. I think it's going to be really, really good for basketball.
I hope that there is a player out there in the future that kind of emulates that mindset, though. I feel like it's straying away a lot, and maybe it's the way that the NBA has changed a lot of the rules.
Yeah.
You can't necessarily do a lot of stuff anymore, and it's kind of like you get a slap and
Yep.
it's a call the time, you have a foul. So I feel like it might not get to that, but I wish that, in the future there would be somebody, along those lines.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you admire the ultimate competitor and you respect them if you're on the other team, no matter what. Jordan might come to your town and kill your team, but you respect the hell out
But
of
that's the thing, right? Everyone is a competitor in the league,
Right.
Right. So let's not take anything away from
Oh,
those
of course,
guys. Like
of course.
it's, I think they're all ultimate competitors.
Yeah.
But there's a certain level of competition that the '90s and the early 2000s gave us.
Yeah.
So I think the last competitive, was the Spurs and the Heat, the Spurs, the Cavs, like the Lakers, Lakers, Sixer. And then the Lakers Nets, even I know it was like a blowout, but you could still sense Shaq and Kobe getting to the finals against Sacramento, against Phoenix, like those guys.
And there was a lot of animosity.
There was a lot of
between
animosity.
Each team, yeah.
And it was like every team was just like, no, it's just us against you guys.
Right.
There wasn't really a lot of people would hang out, but like it wasn't exposed like it is now.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, when you talk about like different players have it at a different intensity level. I don't know if you guys have ever read Relentless. It's by Tim
No.
Grover. Do you know who Tim
Yeah,
Grover
his
is?
trainer. Yeah.
His trainer. So Tim Grover has actually wrote the book, and he talks about 3 different types of players in the NBA that he was able to coach. And he doesn't he only talks about a few players in there. He did Jordan. He coached Jordan. He coached Kobe. He coached from the Heat.
D-Wade?
Morning?
D-Wade.
Oh,
He
D-Wade.
coached D-Wade. And he said that those 3 actually have the mindset. And he talks about the second mindset being a closer. And he talks about LeBron being a closer. And then he says the elites of the elites, the Jordans of the world's a mindset. They're cleaners.
Right.
And it gave me a different perspective. And he even brings in little things about, what you guys don't see in the media is that these people have such a twisted mindset that they'll contact each other during halftime. And they'll say, chug a dozen cans of beer. And then we'll go play and compete against each other.
What?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, right?
Yeah.
Because he says sometimes people have different statistics towards the second half of the game.
Right.
But what you guys don't see is that they were chugging, a few cans of beers and then challenging each other because
Holy.
they were already getting paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
So what's the next step for
Yeah.
them for that mindset? Like they need that
That's
little
crazy.
edge. And so guys like Jordan, obviously one of the toughest sports to ever play, ever to live, I guess, or play is golf.
Right.
So then he goes into something that's more competitive for him in nature and then goes into golf. And that's why he talks about how much he loves golf. And so it's pretty interesting to see like that perspective that people don't really get to see.
Right. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That is very interesting.
Yeah.
No, that's it's
A lot of example that Tim Grover brings.
Gotta pick up that
with
book.
cleaner- Oh, yeah.
Yes.
One of my favorite books, Sacred Hoops, also by Phil Jackson, my favorite as well, too. But nonetheless, So your perspective on The Last Dance, positive, negative?
Positive. Again, I respect it as I can understand why as a competitor. Obviously, belittling players and Scott Burrell, Steve Kerr fighting, all that kind of stuff is kind of not cool. But at the same time, it's like he did it for a reason, and that was to make them mentally tough.
Yeah, it goes to what Jinu was saying.
It ended up yielding results.
Yeah, it goes with what Jinu was saying about them having such a twisted way of kind of looking at things,
Right.
Which separates them from. I mean, everyone in that league is elite, but there's just a certain separation that goes beyond just their God-given talent. It's that mentality, right? Because everyone can work hard, everyone can turn it up a notch,
of course,
right? But it's that mental ability to go, I need that extra motivation. I mean, he mentions it every time,
final
right?
gear. Yeah.
What ticked you off during the '97 finals? Carmelo getting MVP.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really? I mean, I saw that year. That was like one of the first years I actually saw the NBA in the Philippines, and I felt like Carmelo, was deserving, and
He's the man.
He said he was deserving, but that irked me. Everything irked him.
Yeah.
If there's something that irked him, it's what fueled him more than anything. So it was great.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we're gonna take a little short break, and then when we come back, I'm gonna ask you some NBA trivia questions.
Oh, let's
Just because
hit me.
Out of us three, obviously, you two are very, passionate, knowledgeable in the NBA world. So that's why I get to ask the questions when we come back.
Cool.
You are listening to Kickspot.